Hey there, fellow explorer, and welcome to a special Espirito edition of the Deep Dive.
Espirito.
Yeah, Espirito Deep, you could say.
I like that.
You know, it's Italian for expert, so we're
Ah,
taking our expertise to the next level for you today.
I'm
Okay, so Antalya, huh? It made it to the top 10 most visited cities list in 2024.
not really a surprise, is it?
No, not really. I mean, beautiful beaches, yeah,
Sunshine.
incredible history. But I think a lot of people don't realize just how strategically important this city has been throughout history.
Well, it's all about location, location, location. Antalya's geography is really the key to its destiny. It's right there at the crossroads of major trade routes.
Exactly. So we know it was founded in the 2nd century BC.
Antalya.
Yeah, Italia. Back then, by King Attalus II of Pergamon,
Of course, named after him.
naturally. But recent excavations actually suggest there were settlements there even earlier.
Oh, yeah, thousands of years. I mean, think about it. Nestled on the Mediterranean coast with a natural harbor sheltered by the Taurus Mountains.
It's a prime spot.
Prime. So, yeah, people have been drawn to this location for millennia.
I can just picture Attalus II standing on a cliff looking out at this incredible harbor thinking, yeah, this is it. This is the place.
And I don't think he was just thinking about the view. I mean, controlling this harbor meant controlling trade routes across the entire Mediterranean.
Right. Access to resources, projecting power.
Attalus II knew this city could be a powerhouse, so he really poured resources into building up this incredible naval base.
So it's no wonder that Antalya pops up time and time again throughout history, right? It's in the history books. This wasn't just some sleepy little seaside town.
Oh no, empires fought over this place.
Empires. And that brings us to the Romans.
133 BC.
They took over, incorporated Antalya into their empire.
Ah.
What do you think that transition was like for the people who were already living there?
I mean, I doubt it was a seamless handover.
Probably some pockets of resistance.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I'm sure. But daily life definitely changed under Roman rule. I mean, their influence on Antalya was undeniable.
I mean, did everybody start speaking Latin?
Probably not everybody.
Were they all wearing togas?
Maybe not togas, but the Romans really invested in the city's infrastructure,
Roads.
Aqueducts.
And of course, we can't forget about Hadrian's Gate. I mean, you talk about Roman influence.
It's incredible.
We can't miss it. It's right there. Did they just build that to show off, or was there an actual strategic purpose to that?
Come on, everything the Romans did had a strategic purpose.
Okay, fair enough.
Hadrian's Gate was part of the city walls. It was a way to control access to the city, and of course, a symbol of Roman power.
A little intimidation factor never hurts.
Never hurts.
We're here to stay, and we build big gates. But the Romans weren't the only ones to leave their mark on Antalya. This city even gets a shout-out in the Bible.
Yeah, the Apostle Paul, right. He visited Antalya during his missionary journeys. Can you imagine that?
I mean, this early Christian figure spreading the word through this bustling port city.
Connecting Antalya to a whole new religious movement.
A movement that would change the world. Really highlights how this city has been at the crossroads of cultures for centuries. Even before Paul's visit, Antalya was already a melting pot during the Byzantine period.
Antalya was crucial as a harbor during that period. It was just teeming with merchants from all over the Byzantine world.
Armenians, Arabs, Jews, Italians. I mean, can you imagine all the languages?
Stories.
All the goods that were being traded there?
Oh, it was definitely cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan, yeah. Give me a sense of scale here. Are we talking like a small marketplace, or are we talking like a massive ancient bazaar overflowing with exotic goods?
I think to get a real feel for that, we have to turn to Ibn Battuta.
Ah, Ibn Battuta, the 14th century world traveler. Of course, he pops up in Antalya.
But he was everywhere. He described the city as beautiful, sprawling. It had distinct quarters for all the different communities. Christians, Greeks, Jews, Muslims.
All coexisting within the city walls.
And it wasn't just about trade. It was a place of cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Tolerance. Like a vibrant tapestry of traditions.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, did this mixing of cultures always go smoothly?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Ibn Battuta doesn't really give us those details.
Right.
But it does give us a glimpse into a fascinating time in Antalya's history.
Yeah, a city on the cusp of change, because of course the Seljuk Turks were coming.
The 13th century, a whole new chapter was about to begin.
So the Seljuks, new empire, new influences, what did they bring to the table?
Well, for one, they brought a whole new style of architecture. The beginning of Antalya's transition from a predominantly Christian city to a Muslim one.
Right, so with the Seljuks, we're moving into a whole new era, in Antalya's story.
Absolutely. And they left their mark on the city in some pretty profound ways.
What's the one thing that's really sticking out to you about this early period of Antalya's history?
This might sound cliche, but just the constant change, the way this city adapted and absorbed new influences from every new empire that came along, and yet it always remained this thriving hub.
A testament to its strategic importance and the people who live there.
Exactly.
And all those ancient foundations are still there, shaping the city we see today.
And we haven't even talked about its modern transformation, but we'll get into that in the next part of our deep dive. Antalya's journey doesn't end with the Seljuks.
Oh no, the Ottomans are coming.
But that's a story for next time.
Can't wait. So the Seljuks took over. New era for Antalya. What did that mean for the city? I mean, we talked about their architecture a little bit, but was it more than just a change in style?
Oh, absolutely. The Seljuks, they ushered in a whole new period.
Culturally.
Religious shifts, big time.
Antalya had been predominantly Christian for centuries.
For centuries. And this is really when it starts to transition into the city we know today, the one with a distinctly Muslim character.
Right. So it was gradual, though, right? It's not like they just flipped a switch.
Well, you have to remember the Seljuks were part of something bigger. The Turkic migrations that swept across Asia for centuries.
Right, bringing waves of new people.
New cultures into Anatolia, blending with what was already there. The Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines.
So even before the Seljuks?
Oh, yeah.
Antalya was already experiencing this kind of cultural fusion.
Exactly. The Seljuks, they're just one chapter in this ongoing story.
Right.
And you can see it in the architecture they created, like the Yivli Minar.
Yeah, that fluted minaret, beautiful tile work. Classic Seljuk.
But it also incorporates elements from those earlier Byzantine structures.
It's like they were building on the foundations of the past, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. That's what I love about Antalya. It's like a palimpsest of history.
With each layer adding to the richness.
And the complexity of the city.
Speaking of layers, the Seljuks weren't the last to leave their mark on Antalya.
Nope, the Ottomans.
1391. I have a feeling they weren't exactly known for their subtlety when it came to architecture.
Oh, no. They were master builders. And their legacy is everywhere in Antalya's old town.
Mosques.
Madrasas.
Hums.
They embraced the architectural styles of the cultures they conquered, but they definitely added their own flair.
Give me an example. What's one Ottoman-era structure that really captures their vision?
The Tekeli Mehmet Pasha Mosque.
Okay.
17th century, beautiful example of classical Ottoman architecture. The soaring dome, the elegant courtyard, the calligraphy, so intricate.
I can just imagine the sunlight filtering through the stained glass windows, the sound of water in the fountain, so serene.
It is very peaceful. And that's another aspect of Ottoman influence. It wasn't just about grand structures. They wanted to create spaces for community, for reflection, for the rituals of daily life.
So under the Ottomans, Antalya was becoming more than just a strategic outpost. It was turning into a cultural center in its own right.
Absolutely. And all of that cultural richness was helped along by the Ottomans' expansion of trade networks. They connected Antalya to this vast empire. New goods, ideas, people from all over the Mediterranean and beyond.
So Antalya has seen centuries of empires rising and falling, waves of migration.
Constant blending of cultures.
Yeah, it's almost dizzying.
But that's what makes it unique, right? This constant interplay of influences. It's made it both familiar and exotic.
Ancient and modern.
Exactly.
And it's about to enter its most dramatic transformation yet.
The rise of modern Antalya.
I have to admit, I'm curious how this city, steeped in so much history, adapts to the demands of the 20th and 21st centuries.
Antalya's modern story is all about reinvention.
While still honoring its past.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So what sparked this transformation? Was it a sudden shift? Or was it something more gradual?
It was a few things.
A perfect storm.
Kind of. But if I had to pick one thing, it's the rise of tourism in the mid-20th century. Antalya's coastline, its climate, its history, it's perfect.
So people were initially drawn in by the beaches.
I mean, that was part of it. But Antalya offered more than just that. Ancient ruins, modern amenities, bustling markets, serene landscapes. You could relax on the beach in the morning and explore Roman ruins in the afternoon.
The best of both worlds. Did word get out quickly? What were those early days of tourism like?
Well, like most things with Antalya, it was a little bit of both. A gradual increase in the 60s and 70s, and then things really took off in the 80s and 90s.
I'm picturing this sleepy little seaside town suddenly overrun with tourists.
It wasn't quite like that.
How did they handle that influx of people?
Remember, Antalya was used to change, used to adapting.
Right.
But of course, rapid growth causes problems. The infrastructure was strained. People were worried about preserving their cultural heritage amidst all of this development.
So it wasn't all perfect.
Not at all. But it says a lot about the people of Antalya that they were able to navigate all of these challenges and turn their city into this world-class tourist destination.
It's amazing how tourism, this relatively new thing, has become such a driving force in Antalya's story. But I feel like we keep saying there's more to the story. Is there more to Antalya than just tourism?
There's always more at the story. It's easy to get caught up in the beaches and the ruins, but there's another side to Antalya, and it often gets overlooked.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we missing? What's beneath the surface?
Well, for one, Antalya is more than just a destination. It's a thriving hub of industry and commerce. Agriculture is huge.
So there's more to Antalya than just, sunbathing and sightseeing.
A lot more.
Okay, so more to Antalya than just tourism, right?
Yeah.
You said it yourself. What else makes this city tick? What's below the surface?
It's funny, isn't it?
What's that?
How easy it is to forget
Forget what?
that Antalya is a real city. I mean, it's easy to get distracted by all of the beaches and the ruins.
Yeah, I get it. When you're on vacation, you kind of forget about real life for a bit.
Exactly. But Antalya is a living, breathing city with a diverse economy.
Right. Real people live there. It's not just a vacation spot. What are their lives like?
Well, agriculture's huge in the region. The land's incredibly fertile. They grow all sorts of things. Citrus fruit, olives, cotton, flowers.
So when I picture Antalya, I should be picturing orange groves and fields of flowers, not just beaches.
Exactly. And next time you have a glass of orange juice or a salad with olive oil, there's a good chance those ingredients came from the Antalya region.
You're totally right. We don't always think about where our food comes from.
Especially in vacation, we just enjoy it.
Speaking of things we enjoy, remember how we were talking about Antalya being a transportation hub?
Throughout its history, yeah.
That continues today.
Mm.
And I'm guessing you're not just talking about those little tourist boats in the harbor.
No, not just those. Antalya is actually home to the headquarters of some major airlines.
Really?
Yeah, like Corendon Airlines and Sun Express.
So Antalya is more than just a destination. It's a starting point for travel all over the world.
Right. It's always been a crossroads, a place where people come and go. But that connection isn't just about physical travel. Antalya has a vibrant tech scene, a growing university, a thriving arts community.
So it's a modern city that's also holding on to its history.
That's Antalya for you. Ancient and modern, local and global, all at the same time.
I have to admit, I'm seeing Antalya in a whole new light. It's not just a place to visit. It's a complex city with a story that's still being written.
And that's what I love about these deep dives. We get to go beyond the surface and see the nuances,
The contradiction.
the unexpected layers.
Exactly. It's so much more than just a pretty place.
We started talking about Antalya because of its popularity as a tourist destination, but we've uncovered so much more.
We've covered thousands of years of history.
Ancient kings, Roman emperors, bustling marketplaces.
Modern innovations. It's like putting together a giant puzzle and seeing this incredible picture emerge.
So next time you're in Antalya, don't just stick to the beaches and the ruins. Explore the city. Try the local food. Talk to the people who live there.
I will. This deep dive has been amazing. Antalya really does seem to have something for everyone. Relaxation, adventure, history, culture.
And who knows what the future holds for Antalya. But one thing's for sure. It's a city that will keep surprising us for years to come.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for taking us on this journey.
Happy to do it. Keep exploring.